Abolish ICE? Is that the right way to go? Welcome to Law and Society. Please subscribe and let's talk about why Americans are calling for the abolishing of the Department of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Americans wouldn't be screaming abolish ICE if the Department of Immigration and Customs Enforcement limited their activities to immigration and customs enforcement. But instead of working effectively within their jurisdiction, Donald Trump's ICE is much more akin to a private army that's taxpayer funded that keeps attacking Americans and creating war zones in our cities. People wouldn't be calling for the end of ICE if ICE weren't shooting and murdering civilians. ICE is not a law enforcement division with carte blanche authority to invade American cities. Their powers are theoretically limited to immigration and customs enforcement. And that's why Donald Trump attacked immigrants first. Not only because immigrants are easy targets and historically effective scapegoats, but also because he intended to change ICE's core mission from being about immigration to becoming his publicly funded private army. When Americans say abolish ICE, we don't mean that immigration and customs enforcement should be abolished. We mean that Donald Trump's private army must be abolished. We mean that ICE brutality must be abolished. We mean that we have constitutional rights and the federal government cannot trample them under the false guise of national security emergency and immigration. Renee Nicole Goode wasn't an immigrant. She was an activist, she was a mother, she was a wife, she was an American, and ICE murdered her. When we say abolish ICE, we mean hold Jonathan Ross accountable for Renee's murder in broad daylight. A nation of laws cannot operate without enforcement divisions like police forces. Local law enforcement has general jurisdiction over all criminal matters in their area. America is speckled with a history of law enforcement abuses. Over the last 20 years, however, police departments have adopted community policing and invested time and money into programs intended to build mutual trust between law enforcement and the public. And ICE is destroying that mutual trust. While these tensions still exist between law enforcement and the communities they serve, local police generally have been able to build community trust over time. ICE invasion is quite different, however, from bad policing on a local level. Local police enforcement and abuse can be stopped and fixed on a local level. However, as we are seeing with DOJ and FBI's disinterest in investigating and prosecuting Renee Goode's murderer, holding Trump's iteration of ICE accountable is not currently possible. And that's why we want to abolish ICE, because nobody is above the law, especially not Donald Trump's ICE army that includes Trump's insurrectionists and seditious conspirators. I warned even before Trump pardoned all his insurrectionists that if he does pardon them, he will try to build a private army of those people. What I got wrong was that Trump would find a way to make taxpayers pay for his private army. With Trump, it's always worse than you can imagine. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon.